guys, my name is Priscilla Elias and today I'll tell you my opinion about what should be the first lens you should buy and why I think you should start with it. Before anything else, I just want to ask you that if this video helps you to make a decision on which lens to buy first, that you'll give it a thumbs up so I know it helped you. And also consider subscribing to my channel if you like photography and if you'd like to hear me talk about other photography tips. This is very important for me to be able to keep creating content for you. So now, straight to the point. Usually when you buy a camera, it comes with a kit lens, which is a good lens to start, especially if you're a beginner and you're starting photography now. But soon enough, you'll see that you can only go so far with that lens. And before thinking your camera sucks and consider switching it, you must think about buying a better piece of glass. Hands down, no doubt, in my opinion, the first lens you should buy is the 50mm 1.4. I shoot Canon and at the moment I record this video, a lens like this costs around 300 euros. If you shoot another brand, no problem, you should have an option of this lens for a similar price. Okay, Pris, this is too much for me. I don't want or I can't spend 300 bucks on a lens right now. Okay. Then get a 50mm 1.8. It'll be a great starting point as well. Of course, the 1.4 will give you more versatility in possibilities. But my first 50mm was a 1.8 and I shot with it for a long time before I was able to get a 1.4. When I started shooting professionally, for quite some time, the only lens I had was the 50mm 1.4. At that time, I did mostly portraits and I did not miss anything having this lens with me. As a matter of fact, when I did my first 3 weddings as a second photographer, I only had this 50mm with me. Am I suggesting you shoot a wedding only with a 50mm? No way, I'm not. It's not ideal, especially for a professional photographer. But can you go through it with great images? Absolutely. If you have a full frame camera, the 50mm turns out to be even more versatile than if you have a crop sensor camera. Because of course, with a crop sensor, if you're indoors and the place where you're in is too small, then you might feel it's a little too tight, meaning you might not be able to capture more than a close-up, depending on the amount of space you have. So if that's your case, if you have a crop sensor camera, keep your lens kit for wider shots, but still get the 50mm 1.4. Here's a list of reasons why I absolutely love this lens. A 1.4 aperture lens for 300 bucks? That's a heck of a deal. With a 1.4 you'll get amazing bokeh and you can easily separate your subject from the background, creating a very interesting depth of field to your photos. Even though you cannot zoom in and out as it is a prime lens, I consider this to be a very versatile lens. As I said, especially if you have a full frame camera, it's not as wide as a 35mm, not as close as an 85mm, and if you have a crop sensor, you might even consider getting a 35mm 1.4, but it's probably going to be way more expensive than a 50mm 1.4. Up till today, many times I travel and all I take with me is the 50mm because it's versatile and it's also very light and small. Which is the third reason why I love it. If I'm going to shoot all day or if I'm going to carry my camera around all day long, this is a very light lens I love to have with me. Of course, you need to have in mind it has limitations. All lenses do. But if I just want a lens to register some of the moments from my trip without having to carry much weight around, it's always the lens I take with me. Another feature I love about this lens is it's sharp. It's very sharp. Get your focus right and you get amazing images with it, no matter what camera you have. Also, it's fast. As I said, when I started shooting weddings, I only used my 50mm 1.4. I was second shooting for a photographer that had an 85mm, and on the third wedding I did with him, he asked me to do some shots from the ceremony with the 85mm 1.4, and at that point I realized how fast my 50mm was and how important that was when taking a photo, especially when you want to capture exact specific moments. The 85mm is a much slower lens, and of course it's an amazing lens for portraits, but if it's slower, it gives me much less versatility than the 50mm. So again, one more point to the 50mm. It's great for low light situations where you cannot use a flash. The 1.4 aperture is amazing to capture nice images in your house or in a church, for example. It never lets me down. Another characteristic, such as the possibility you have to use it in manual or automatic focus, and the body construction, which is not amazing as some of the Canon lenses, but which is pretty good for the price, also make this a great lens for the value. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to know what you think about this lens, and also if you have anything else specifically you would like me to talk about, write it down here so I can consider recording a video to help you out. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!